Hello and welcome to this webinar on OTHM University Pathways in Law with the University of Law. Today we are joined by Rong and Janet from the University of Law team, as well as Rebecca from OTHM.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. I'll just start off today by giving a brief introduction to OTHM for those who are perhaps unfamiliar with ourselves and our qualifications. So we are a UK-based awarding organisation. We're regulated by Ofqual, and we work with approved delivery partners all over the world. We're in over 70 countries. And we offer over 100 qualifications. So here you can see the diverse range of qualifications that we offer in the different subject areas. And today we'll be looking at the pathway options specific to law. So just to explain a little bit about the levels that we offer. So we have a level 3 diploma, which is equivalent to like A levels or GCE. So these are foundation level programs which prepare students for the first year of study at university level. And we'll also be looking at the level 4 and the level 5 diploma in law that we offer. And just so you're aware, level 4 and 5 is equivalent to the first and the second year, respectively, of a UK bachelor degree. We also offer a level 5 extended diploma in law, which is simply the levels 4 and 5 combined into one diploma. So these are the two pathways that we're going to focus on today. So from our OTHM level 3 diploma in law, progressing to the first year of the LLB honours degree at the University of Law. Our OTHM level 3 diploma in law provides students with a grounding in the legal system in England and Wales, and it helps students to understand how the legal system operates and some of the key laws that underpin the legal system. So it's a really great qualification to develop your academic skills around law and also to prepare you for further study. Secondly, we'll be looking at the progression route from the OTHM level 4 and 5, the level 5 or the level 5 extended diploma. And that's progressing into the LLB top-up at the University of Law. So just on the next slide, I wanted to show you a brief overview of the modules that you'll study across the level 4 and 5 diplomas in law. So they're 120 credits per academic year. So that would be 240 credits for levels 4 and 5. And they aim to give students the opportunity to develop their knowledge and understanding of core legal principles and also to help build foundations and professional research skills, which are essential for a successful career in law. So I'm going to pass over now to our university representative, Janet. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks very much, Rebecca. So I'm just going to share some slides with you all. Which hopefully you can now all see.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yes, that's great.
Lovely, that's great. So I'm Janet Wright. I'm the Programme Director for undergraduate law programmes at the University of Law. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about who we are and the range of programmes that are available to you based on you having studied one of the OTHM qualifications. So we are a national university in the UK. We are primarily using qualified lawyers to deliver our programmes. So if you're studying a law degree with us, you're going to be taught by legal experts, many of whom have practiced as solicitors or barristers. We've got a range of flexible study options, both in terms of multiple locations across the UK, depending on your choice of programme, but also we run the majority of our programmes on an online basis as well, which is often of interest to our students. We have a really fantastic careers service. They have very close relationships with law firms, both in the UK and international law firms as well. And in part, that's because we've got over 100,000 alumni who have studied with our institution at some point or other and are now working out in legal practice or in other industries. So all of that means we've trained more lawyers than anyone else in the UK. It's what we do. We train people to be lawyers ultimately. From an undergraduate perspective, we do very well in things like the National Student Survey that final year students complete. So 2 years ago, we were top 10 in the UK for the quality of our teaching. We've also ranked very highly for things like the quality of our assessment and feedback, the academic support that we provide to our students, and equipping our students with the skills that they need for the workplace, which is really important for you. So this slide gives you an overview of the range of programmes which are available. The vast majority of our students are with us on a 3-year LLB in law, but we do, depending on the standard of your qualification, offer a 2-year accelerated version. We have a number of law with programmes. So we have law with business, law with international business, law with criminology, and we've just launched for this year law with psychology. We've also just launched a degree in international law for people that are more interested in exploring law on a global footing. If you knew that you wanted to qualify as a solicitor in England and Wales, we have an integrated master's programme that you can study that combines our LLB with the solicitor's qualifying exam course content. I think less relevant to you would be our LLB senior status. That's for people that are already graduates in another discipline. But one of the other, or a couple of the other programs I'm going to talk to you about are our top-ups, which, as Rebecca mentioned, that's really the progression step for you if you complete a level 5 diploma that's the equivalent of years 1 and 2 of a law degree. So if you study any of our 3-year LLB programs, there are certain core modules that you would be covering. So you are covering what we class as the foundation subjects in law, which are criminal law, public law, which we combine with a little bit of EU law, contract, tort, land, and equity and trusts. If you studied the level 5 diploma with OTHM, then you would have covered some of these subjects already. Those which you wouldn't have covered, so equity and trust, you would be able to study that as part of a top-up programme. We then have, as part of the 3-year programme, a module on legal method and skills, which helps you understand where our laws come from within England and Wales, and also focuses on the skills that you need for studying law. So looks at how you use our legal databases and our library resources, looks at the OSCOLA method of referencing, which we use within the UK, looks at particularly how we develop your problem-solving skills within our law programmes. We have a module on academic and career success to help you think about what career would you like following your degree and what steps would you need to take to succeed in that career, as well as equipping you with more general skills that you need for academic study, like understanding more about academic integrity, communication skills, and digital skills. We're introducing for this coming year a module on AI literacy that, as I'm sure you're all aware, is increasingly important in the workplace. I can't think of an industry that isn't using AI these days. And it's really important that as a graduate, you have the skills to use AI responsibly and an ability to critically think about the outputs of AI tools that you're using. And then we have within the second year of an LLB a module that's called Critical Approaches and Current Legal Issues, which helps develop your critical thinking skills further develop your research skills, and looking at that within the context of some really current issues that are taking place within law within England and Wales. We then have a broad range of options that you can study, and what we do within our 3-year programs is we put those options into pathways to help make it easier for you to choose what subjects you want to study. Otherwise, it can be a little bit overwhelming. So we have subjects which sit within our SQE and SILEX pathway for those that want to qualify as a solicitor or a SILEX lawyer within England and Wales. We have a pathway for students who are interested in working with businesses, either as a corporate or commercial lawyer, or working perhaps within more of an industry sector, either as an in-house lawyer or using legal skills to work within, say, procurement, human resources, those kind of areas. We have a pathway for people that want to work with individuals, so that focuses more around areas such as criminal justice, human rights. We have family law in there where you're wanting to work more with people rather than businesses. And then a number of subjects which we class as common. So any pathway you can do the common modules because they really fit well, whether you're working with businesses or individuals, any career that you might want to go into, including if you want to become a barrister. Couple of slides here give you an overview of the current optional modules that fit within our Law with Business or Law with Criminology options. So these are delivered by our Business and Applied Sciences School, and the same goes for our psychology options as well. And depending on your campus of study on a 3-year programme, you can opt to choose some of these modules as part of a degree purely in law if you wish to do so. One thing that I think is really important to mention is how we embed employability into our programs. It's increasingly important that our students are developing skills that employers are looking for. And so right from the beginning of your study, we embed that within your study. So when you first join us as part of your induction, you have a careers development workshop that's delivered by our Director of Employability and his team, and starts to get you thinking about what skills do you need to be developing throughout your degree to prepare you for the workplace. That's moved forwards within a couple of the modules I've already mentioned, such as academic and career success and AI literacy for the future professional that you take in your first year. In your second year, depending on your programme of study, we have a module called the Student Law Clinic. That provides a simulation for you in a taught environment of what it's like to work in a law clinic and give advice to clients. So you will look at a couple of case studies, and working with your fellow students and facilitated by your lecturer, you'll look at the kind of things that you would need to do to advise the hypothetical clients in those case studies. And then in the final year, if you're on the 3-year programme, you have the opportunity to do our graduate and employability skills module, which is where you think about particular skills that you want to develop, such as networking, team working, perhaps taking on management responsibility, and you look at how you can develop those skills through things like pro bono work, volunteering. If you were working alongside your study, then that would be a vehicle to use, as well as engaging in a lot of the employability events that we offer. And we're also launching for this year our legal advice clinic, which will give students an opportunity, if they meet certain criteria, to actually work with members of the public and advise them on legal issues that they're facing. So that could involve doing some research for clients, writing letters of advice, supporting them with, say, an application for asylum within the UK. It really depends on who comes through the door and who happens to need advice. And that's done under the support of supervising solicitors within our own law firm that we run as an institution. So if you complete the level 5 diplomas with OTHM, then you can consider one of our top-up programs. So this is the equivalent of coming in to just do your final year of study, and we then award you with an LLB. But we don't just drop you straight into our final year, because we don't think that would give you enough support coming into a new institution. I think it's really important that you have some opportunity to get to grips with how do we do things at the University of Law. So that's where this Law at ULaw module comes in. It will give you a refresher on sort of things like English legal systems. It will introduce you to our library systems, our legal databases. It will ensure that you're familiar with the Oscola method of referencing that we use. And it will also equip you with skills in things like problem solving, because we use a very specific method for problem solving in legal case studies. And we certainly use a particular method for that at ULaw. You then, in your first term, would study international commercial law and mental health and mental capacity. And then in the second term, you would study 3 options out of those that you can see on the slide. Now, you would have studied land law already with OTHM. So I think most likely you would be doing equity and trusts. If you wanted to be a barrister, we would say you should study EU law, because the Bar Council for England and Wales requires you to have studied EU law in order to progress to a bar course. And then we offer intellectual property law, legal technology, and law and society out of our range of options, which we think are the ones which are going to be most attractive to students coming onto a top-up programme. And this programme is being offered at our London, Bloomsbury, and our Birmingham campuses, and also as an online mode of study. From September 2027, we will also have available a top-up in international law. So again, you would do our Law at ULaw module to help integrate you into study at the University of Law. You'd also do international commercial law, but you would then study a new module on public international law in the first term. And then in the second term, you would do international criminal law, EU law, and you would then choose one from intellectual property, legal technology, and law and society. So just a little bit about how we support you at the University of Law. If you're studying attendance mode, your sort of learning is broken down into a large group session, which you attend on campus, and that's to support you by introducing you to each topic that you're studying within a module. You then have quite a significant amount of preparation to do, so reading, tasks to complete to check your understanding, and then you would come to your workshop, which would be taught within a class size of up to 25 students, and you work in groups collaboratively with your peers to solve problems, construct legal arguments, put together debates, all with the support of your lecturer in the classroom. So it's a great way to collaborate and also get feedback. You'd be timetabled typically for no more than 3 days a week on campus during your study of the core modules in the first term. When it comes to the second term and you're studying options, that might move to 4 days a week. But we then have extensive support teams. So if you need any help because you have a disability, then we have a disability and inclusion service that can support you and look at adjustments that might be needed. We have a great library and learning skills team who can help you with kind of improving research skills and getting to grips with our databases a little bit more, and with referencing, and other skills like managing your time, written skills, improving problem solving skills and assessment technique. We have a really good mental health and well-being team that can support you, an international student advice team to help you. We've got our employability team that I've already mentioned, and they're all very accessible and very proactive in making you aware of the areas that they can support you with. And we'll make sure that you're introduced to all of those teams when you first start with us. If you study with us on an online basis, then again, you will have that large group session to introduce you to the topic, but that large group is delivered to you online. Rather than coming to a workshop every week, though, then you would be working on tasks individually. Some of those tasks you would be submitting in order to receive individual feedback from our lecturers. You would then have 3 online workshops in each module, which gives you again that opportunity to come together with your fellow students, to work together on solving problems and doing more practical tasks like practicing your presentation skills and your debating skills. Those same extensive support teams apply to you. So all of our support is available to you effectively on an online basis. We do have some support people available on campuses, but a lot of it is delivered online so that it's much more accessible to you wherever you might be. This bit about our assessments. So we use a range of assessments across our different modules because we are equipping you with a range of different skills. So you will encounter coursework, examinations, oral presentations, portfolios where you're submitting a number of different pieces of work. All of our assessments are conducted on an online basis. So it doesn't matter where you are when you're sitting those particular assessments, you do those online. So that's all from me in terms of giving you an overview of the programs that we run at the University of Law, and I'll hand back to Tom.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Janet, for all of your insights. That was really, really great. Thank you for that. I'm just now going to open the floor to our attendees just to drop any questions they have in the Q&A box. We've had a couple come through already, but I'll just give it a couple of moments just to allow others to put their questions in there as well. So while we're waiting for any more questions, one that we've gained, Rebecca, actually, this might be more for you, maybe just to discuss the other progression pathways we have with the University of Law as well.
Yeah, so we also have progression from some of our business related qualifications. So from our level 3 diploma in business management, you can progress on to year 1 of one of the undergraduate business courses at the University of Law. And then similarly, we also have a progression from the OTHM level 5 diploma in business management and the level 4 and 5. So that's progressing to the Bachelor in Business Management top up. So any others? Oh, sorry, there's one more. You can also study our level 4 and 5 in accounting and business, and then progress on to the business management top up as well. We update any new pathways with our university partners on our website. So if you go to othm.org.uk and navigate to our university progressions page, you can see the latest updates there.
Thank you for that, Rebecca. We had one about, can they have a copy of the slides? Yes, that should be fine if that's okay with you. Perfect. Yeah. So I'll then once I've got those slides, so I'll send them across to all of our attendees for you. I just thought it'd be quite good to maybe talk a little bit about what it's like for students to study at the University of Law. What's the culture like?
Yeah, sure. We have a very friendly culture. I think although we are very large in terms of the number of students we have on our LLB programs, we're one of the largest provider of undergraduate law degrees within the UK. Because we're spread across a number of different campuses, so our LLBs, aside from the top up, are located in London, Bristol, Birmingham, Nottingham, Manchester and Leeds. It means whichever location you're studying in, even London, which is our largest campus, you're part of a cohort of a few hundred students. And that means that we get to know you really well. Each campus has one or more program and student leads who are part of my team. Their role is to manage the program at that particular location, and we also have two program and student leads that manage the programs online. And they're your really key point of contact. They will meet you in induction. They will make sure you've got their contact details. They'll see you regularly throughout the time that you're with us. They'll teach you in some of the subjects, and they will, like I say, they'll get to know you. If you've got any problems, you can go and speak to them. But you also have an academic coach allocated to you, who's one of our lecturers, and they will be your sort of touch point at various points throughout the year. So we start off when you come to us with a series of group academic coach meetings where you and others within your group would get to know your academic coach and talk about things like how are you finding the transition to studying at university or studying at the University of Law. Deal with common questions you might have, talk you through assessment processes or what happens if you're not well when there's an assessment and what your options are. Your academic coach will reach out to you when you've done a mock assessment to check if you want to have a chat about the feedback that you've received and can support you with looking at ways to improve in your studies, whether you're doing brilliantly and you want to do even better, or you're not doing as well as you were hoping you'd be able to do. So they will be kind of looking after your pastoral needs during the time that you're with us. And then the lecturers themselves, you'll see the same lecturers week in, week out. Some of them teach across a number of different subjects, depending on their expertise. So again, you get to know them. Our large group sessions are happening in a class of no more than, in London, 180. Some of the other campuses, it's much smaller than that. So we hope that you feel comfortable asking questions during those sessions. It really what we want and the culture we try to instill is if you're not sure, ask. We want to help you. We want you to do well. And we really pride ourselves on knowing our students, the level of support that we provide you with, because ultimately, if you do well, that's great for us as well at the end of the day.
That's great. Thank you so much for that, Janet. We've had a question regarding just to talk through for those students who are overseas from other countries. How would this pathway help support them?
So in terms of our overseas students, we have an international student advice team who can support you with any sort of queries around visas and so on once you're in the country. We are going to have someone actually from this year whose particular focus within my own team is around supporting international students. But we do keep a close eye on you to make sure that you're okay, check that you're coming to sessions, and we'll be in touch if there's any concerns over that, because we've got to make sure that we're following very closely the restrictions imposed by our government. We have English language support available for anyone whose English is not their first language. And actually, some of that support our domestic students take up as well, because academic English can be more of a challenge than conversational English. And there are a number of student societies set up by our international student cohorts who it kind of helps you come together as a community within our wider community as well, to make sure you've got some extra support that way. But certainly from the academic perspective, one of the reasons we've introduced the international law programme is to provide a degree that we think might be of more interest to students who are coming to us from other jurisdictions who may not want to be a lawyer within England and Wales, and giving you that opportunity to take subjects which have more general application and are not so focused on the kind of law that you would need if you wanted to be a lawyer within the UK.
Okay, thank you for that, Janet. What is the tuition fee for the top-up program?
Good question. I'll need to come back to you on that. It is
Okay.
it's our standard.
I think I have the data.
You got it wrong.
If
Brilliant.
I can help. If you are home fee payer, it will be £9,790. If you are international student, it will be 18,100 in London. Outside London, it's £17,200. But we offer £2,500 across every year for undergraduate students. And also, it depends where you are domiciled. We offer a regional scholarship on top of the generic international bursary. If you submit your application, you will receive offer, and you'll also receive a call from our program consultant. They will give you the detailed advice about the bursary and the scholarship. So don't worry about that.
Great, thank you for that, Rong. We've had a question regarding any other programs that you offer other than law. Could you maybe just talk through them at all, just very briefly?
We have, I think it's already been mentioned, we have a number of business degrees that are available. We do have an undergraduate degree in computer science available, and we have a BSc in criminology. We have criminology and policing, criminology and psychology, and a psychology degree. I'm trying to think through if I've missed any out. I don't think so.
That's great, thank you. We've just had a question specifically on the business management progression route. We may come back to that at a later date. We may have another webinar potentially in store for that, so we need to discuss that. So please do keep an eye out for that for more information regarding that particular top-up program. We've had another question regarding something completely separate to law in terms of tourism. We do obviously have other progression routes with tourism, so please do check our website on othm.org.uk. All of the lists of all of our university progressions are on there for you. We had a question regarding the tuition fee. Can that be paid in installments?
Yes, currently we allow international students. For home fee pay students, maximum is 10 installments. For international student who need Tier 4 visa, yes, the courses are open for Tier 4 visa students. We allow maximum 3 installment, but we are implementing 10 installment for international fee payers from this September onwards. The detailed terms and conditions will be published, expected to be published before September this year. So once you receive offer, again, you will receive detailed guidance from the program consultants.
Okay, we've had no more questions pop up, but if you do have any questions at all, please do feel free to reach out to the OTHM team and also the University of Law team as well. They'll be happy to help you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.